Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Nancy Drew in the Creature of Kapu Island, I think is the name of the game. Nancy Drew, I should just call it. So we solved the math puzzle to turn on the solar cells and turn on the power, and then that just immediately, without any conversation at all, takes us to this next step in which we need to turn the radio to 18.305 and see if we can contact her. Of course, we would only really be able to contact the doctor if she's actually there. So now that we have the power on, we'll get some feedback. And so my thought here would be, so this goes left and right, and so then this probably goes up. Interesting. So this is super easy, and I'm fairly quickly starting to learn that that is just what this game is going to be, is really super easy puzzles for little kids. But even at that, this isn't even a puzzle, I would say. And interesting, it seems to me like what I've done here is maybe programmed in only one channel, so maybe there will be like 9 channels later that we have to plug in. Right. And then I guess we just leave. 18.305. Let's see what happens.
This is Nancy Drew calling Dr. Quigley Kim. Dr. Kim, are you there?
Quigley Kim. Nancy, is that you?
Yes, I've been worried about you.
I'm in a hallucination too.
I've been worried about you. Your camp is a mess. Someone ransacked it.
Well, as you are untapped, get out here.
Where exactly are you?
You can find me at Big Finger Rock. The exact location is northeast, 4 hours. By west, 5 degrees, 1 minute.
Could you please repeat that?
Oh, and be sure to bring my...
Dr. Kim, I can barely hear you. Could you repeat those coordinates, please?
I rarely get you in. Over now.
No, wait, I still don't know where you are. Dr. Kim! Nancy Drew calling Dr. Quigley Kim. Come in, please.
So we get a scripted
Great.
conversation
All I heard
here.
was Green Trigger Rock or something. How am I supposed to figure out where that is?
So you keep saying, I guess this means you can just look at things, whereas you can't really look at the key, is I guess how this all just works. But then it is weird that we keep getting new items mentioned with a little flower symbol. So yeah, just a cutscene after doing such a simple puzzle. My guess, if we were to just venture a guess, is that we're just supposed to call the Hardy Boys at this point. Let's just go through this checklist.
Did that.
We did that.
Did that.
We did that.
Check.
They have only 2 lines of dialogue, and they're not even cycling between them. It is just random.
Did that. Done.
And see, it would tell us if we hadn't done something.
Check.
So that would tell us whether or not
Done.
we needed to go back and do something.
Check. Did that.
Yep. So that's everything on the checklist now checked off, mostly in order. Figure out where Green Trigger Rock is. Call the Hardy Boys, maybe, which was definitely my thought too. Is if you have a need for information and you have not seen any legitimate reason that you would, or legitimate way to figure it out yourself, a phone call is going to be your first, second thought there. Which inherently, this is the problem with mystery games being set in modern times, particularly very modern times, where a cell phone would be a smartphone with an internet and you could just search things to find the answers. And yeah, much like Hollywood movies, they increasingly have to figure out reasons why people can't just call people. For Nancy Drew, you have this built-in reason in that Nancy Drew should just be set in the past anyways, and then eliminates the cell phone. And it really goes to show just how technology and gadget focused people were, particularly PC owners of the era that this game would have come out, those early 90s, that they have bent over backwards to modernize a Nancy Drew game by giving her a cell phone, when in the actual Nancy Drew books, I heavily suspect it's set in the 60s when cell phones wouldn't have existed, and it makes a lot more sense that that would be the case. We may, I suspect we're going to just play as the Hardy Boys.
Hello?
Hi,
For
Joe.
a
It's
while.
Nancy.
Hey, Nancy, what's going on?
Well, after I finally got Big Island Mike to give me the keys to the car Dr. Kim had arranged for me, I started driving.
Whoa.
And they're just
So what did
gonna
Dr. Kim say when you told her somebody or something
They-
had torn up her camp?
Fade out,
Frankly, I'm not sure she
and
heard
fade
me.
in.
The radio connection we had was really bad.
Skipping some
in
of the
fact, she rattled off
conversation.
the coordinates of where she is now so I could plug them into my GPS, but all I heard was north 19 degrees 20-something. I think she said she was at Green Trigger Rock, but I could be wrong about that too. I don't suppose you'd happen to have a map of the island, would you?
No, but I'll keep my eyes open. Maybe I'll even ask Big Island Mike. I'm still waiting for a chance to do some snooping around his desk.
Well, if you find out anything, give me a call. Remember, what Dr. Kim said sounded like Green Trigger Rock.
Green Trigger Rock. Will do. Are you going to be able to get back here with the bridge washed out like that?
No, but I'll be okay. That bridge is the least of my worries. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Bye.
So the bridge being washed out is clearly a contrivance, and we have just a completely different interface now and a different phone logo. Let's see. The only other person we could call is Richard Atkins, which maybe is worth doing.
Richard Akins is unavailable. Please leave a message.
Hi, Mr. Akins. It's Joe Hardy. Nothing important, just checking in. Talk to you later.
So, okay. You have a whole different interface, which I imagine doesn't change. We have what looks like $50 in a wallet, which apparently implies Nancy Drew is not carrying any money. We have a different journal here, and I would assume different checklist. So it's questionable as just how much of this game might take place or could be played as the Hardy Boys, or one of the Hardy Boys. So it's like all of these little mini games may play a role. And yeah, I just don't think we have any of this. Or maybe we do. but we don't know what to spend it on either. So before I buy anything, let's just do the basic stuff. It wants us to go into the office. And so here we've got the surfer girl we can talk to. So it almost feels like there's just a whole side mission here you can engage with, perhaps at any time.
I need some bait.
So maybe this was a case where they wanted to make a Hardy Boy game. They didn't get very far with it, and instead just integrated it to churn out yet another Nancy Drew game as fast as possible. Because it definitely feels like these are the kinds of games that they did churn out very fast. Now, noticeably, it doesn't seem like you can look at any of the spots in this to pick up any seashells and make a necklace yourself. At least not at the moment. So we kind of wonder if the other Hardy Boy is just following you closely behind.
Hey Joe, ready for another lesson?
So again, the CGI here looks fairly rough. I mean, it would have been groundbreaking for the time, but in 2024 it just is anatomically incorrect. You have a very giant head, dead eyes. The characters just sit there completely static. Proportions just feel off completely. And yeah, it is just limited in so many different ways. And in fairness, even now in 2024, if you look at something like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, that's a game that is literally designed using face scanning technology and the best amount of 3D animation as you possibly can make, and it's still just not really going to get past the uncanny valley. It still looks like a cartoon enough of the time, enough of a CGI, that it doesn't look realistic or like real people, which would be, I assume, the goal of 3D CGI, is to get it as realistic as possible. It certainly is what game developers have been seeking. And noticeably, when you talk about Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, they don't talk about the game at all, because all of the focus has been put into the animation and the cutscenes. And same issue here. Very little gameplay, a lot of 3D CGI, not even a very large amount of dialogue, which that scale is skewed by visual novels, certainly, in that visual novels sell themselves as having 50,000 words, 100,000 words. A short visual novel, maybe 20,000 words. I would suspect that this game has probably 5,000 words at most in it, and most visual novels that aren't labeled as kinetic visual novels have you go through lines of dialogue in branching puzzles or paths to have a conversation, whereas these conversations gives you mostly, it seems like, option A or B, and whatever you pick doesn't really matter. Like this response in particular, it feels like it's not going to matter.
Thought I'd give you a chance to catch a few without me.
I was out there at dawn and I'll be back out there at dusk. I'll get my rides in, don't worry.
I guess we're trying to ask questions about her.
Must get pretty boring having to teach newbies like us day in and day out, huh?
No, it's fun. I like turning people on to surfing, especially guys. You're doing great, so's your brother. In fact, he hasn't come off his board once. Of course, that might change when he actually stands up on it.
Frank hasn't stood up yet?
Oops, I probably shouldn't have said that. Look, how about we change the subject?
Let's see. Should we jump into this other point? I mean, I feel like this is just going to be an exhaustion dialogue.
Are Frank and I your only pupils right now?
Pretty
We'll go
much.
through each
You guys
one.
are the only excursions Dad's got going this week. I coach some local kids, but they've got finals.
How's your dad doing? You know, business-wise.
Okay, I guess. I mean, we don't live in a mansion or anything, but we got food, we got clothes. Dad gets to show off his island, and I get to surf. Far as I'm concerned, we got everything we need.
So yeah, this is just going to be an exhaustion thing where we go through everything. Now I am noticing that the middle mouse wheel on my mouse is working. That's nice, certainly. Although, frankly, middle mouse wheels are pretty old, so it's not really a surprise.
How come I've never heard you say anything about your mom?
She died when I was 10.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry.
That's okay, you didn't know. Besides, Dad wanted to keep me busy, so he taught me how to surf, something my mom was always dead set against. He also quit working for the pineapple company and went into business for himself. She wouldn't have liked that either. So everything kind of turned out for the best.
It is worth mentioning that it is kind of odd, her outfit, for a surfer. Like, inherently, if you are going to surf, you're going to surf in a wetsuit, particularly if you're getting in and out of the water quite a bit. And inherently, if this was 2024 and you had an animator that didn't know anything about surfing, you would put her in a ridiculously small bikini, which absolutely would not work in as a windsurfing, because that would just get torn off almost certainly the first time you hit any waves. Although it is, I guess, possible that this is just her waxing her board outfit and she does actually surf in a wetsuit. We'll see if they show it or not, but yeah, you can definitely see they wanted to show some belly here, but the dead eyes of the character and the giant head here really doesn't work for trying to make an attractive character. And noticeably, they really have not tried in any way to make Nancy Drew visible as a character at all. She's always behind the camera. So, yeah, she is certainly not getting exploited for her appearance, or the male gaze, I guess is what you call it.
What do you think about all this Kane Okala stuff?
I'm not
I'd
really
rather not
into the
say.
story.
You'd laugh.
Like,
So you believe he's real?
a lot
Look,
of these
first
stories
the Hilihili Center closes its doors to
need
visitors
to
and
really
gets real
work
secretive
hard to
about
get
what
you
it's doing up there.
interested
Then something
and
goes wrong with the
involved with it.
pineapple crop.
And there just doesn't
Coincidence?
feel like
I don't
there's
think so. I mean,
enough
Kane Okala has shown up
reason
before when somebody
to care.
endangered the islands. Why shouldn't I believe that he's back?
Yeah. Particularly since we just called the doctor and heard her on the radio and she wasn't sounding in distress. There's just not a lot of reason to care about the main mystery, and there's even less reason to care about investigating this daughter and father team.
He showed up before? When?
My dad said that after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, people saw Kane Okala all over the place, including my grandfather. You gonna call my grandfather a liar?
I'm saying that sometimes people, especially superstitious people, sometimes they see what they want to see.
Well, I'm not the least bit superstitious, and I swear to you, I have seen Kane Okala. Now, Amscray, I gotta work.
Amscray. So it seems like maybe there was some more conversation to have there, but we got kicked out for irritating her. Rather thick legs, muscles here, as in the animation too, compared to arm muscles, which for a surfer might make sense. So yeah, that really didn't give us any clear information. We walk in here and we can hear some different sound effects. We still don't really have a way to spell this, although Kane Okala seems like something you could spell here. Let's see. Do we have it written down anywhere? So we could get the exact spelling. Nay. Yeah, actually, it's probably not quite enough letters to spell out Okala. So that's probably not the code. Well, inherently, let's see if we have money to actually play this.
I may just have to give this a try or two. Uh-oh, I don't have any money. Oh well.
So we have something here that's labeled 50, which looks like that's probably real money instead of the other kind of money. Alright. What we want to do is, I imagine, just turn around. Where was the map? Let's see. So it looks like the news here may have changed, and we have an article here that seems to be about Nancy Drew breaking into the Hilihili facility, or trying to. Maybe. Or maybe that already happened. I could have sworn that there was a map in this place. I thought there was a map just on the wall over here. But no, I think...
Hey, what's up?
We're just gonna have to talk to this. Talk to Big Mike again. Inherently, I assume what's going on here is they only made 4 or 5 animated characters, and then they're going to use them quite a bit. I also wouldn't be surprised if the models and 3D CGI animations and models here get reused in other Nancy Drew games. They change the appearance, change the head a little bit, but mostly reuse them, everything they can. Although that is also assuming that the technology here really has any wireframing programming around it, and it isn't just very much a simpler CGI process. Nowadays, if you were using something like the Unreal Engine, it would be very easy to reuse content, and you see it done quite a bit. So let's ask the questions that the Hardy Boys want to ask.
How long have you been in this business?
5 years, give or take. Pua's idea. She saw this whole extreme vacation thing coming. I thought she was Popule, but turns out she was right. We've been making money since day one. My daughter is one smart wahine.
Raising a daughter all by yourself must have been pretty hard.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, that's for sure. She was a handful, but then she started surfing. And look at her, she's a champ. Future's as bright as they come.
Come on, Mr. Mapu, nobody's perfect. She must have some bad habits.
With Pua, what you see is what you get. Just wants to surf. And be the best in the world while she's at it.
Okay, so that's exhausted that dialogue and seemed to do basically nothing. So I wonder if it's a case that doing the Hardy Boys story is just kind of impossible. It just leads nowhere. And yeah, I don't know what you really expect Big Mike to say there to a client / stranger. He's not gonna start listing all the secrets about his daughter.
Are you familiar with a place in the jungle around here called Green Trigger Rock or something like that?
Never heard of it. And I know this island better than anybody. So if I haven't heard of it, trust me, there's no such place.
Think you could explain this try it and trade it system of yours again?
Real simple. Over at the necklace making table, there's pictures of the different necklaces you can make out of shells, okay? You collect shells, you make something, you turn it in, you get whatever the picture says it's worth in Big Island bucks. You get enough Big Island bucks, you can buy some fishing gear and bait. You go fishing, you catch something, you turn it in, you get paid what it's worth. The better the bait you buy, the bigger the fish you catch, and the more Big Island bucks you get. The more Big Island bucks you get, the more stuff you can do in here. You see, a never-ending circle of fun. Everybody wins.
Especially you, right? Since you get to keep everything we trade in?
Hey, the more money I bring in, the less I gotta charge customers like you. You can put the shells you find in here. Whenever you're ready to turn something in, necklace, fish, whatever, go see Pua, not me. She's in charge of doling out the Big Island bucks.
Oh, so we couldn't have gotten Big Island bucks in that first section anyways, because the daughter wasn't around.
You're always in here working. Don't you ever get out and enjoy paradise yourself?
Well, if somebody'd catch me 6 ulua, I'd have an excuse to drive them into the market in Hilo, and on the way back, do a little body surfing at this great little beach I know.
So...
I'm game. What are ulua?
Big shorefish, real good eating. Just so happens I got their favorite food right here.
Well, get ready to take a little time off, big guy, because I am on it.
Okay. And I can't leave. Just nothing to click on over here.
Whoa, earthquake!
Interesting that would just be scripted to happen there. Now the problem though with an earthquake is that means almost anything anywhere could be moved now. Some new path could be opened up. We would just struggle to find it. And so the implication here is that we're supposed to come down here and look for seashells, which we can now do. But I think there is also an implication here that perhaps we can just skip all of that and go straight to fishing. Now inherently you have a situation here where this is just going to be fairly irritating if you have to run around picking up seashells over and over again to get honey. I would imagine what is happening here is more of a scripted type experience where you maybe make one necklace and then you're going to fish immediately. You may end up making most so this is just a container that's going to hold the fish. Okay. So then the question is this a real mini game, or is this just going to be a cutscene? So I see it bobbing up and down.
One Kahlua down, 5 to go.
Then it stopped bobbing, so. These look like plastic bait. So this is just busy work, repeating the actions 5 times. And see, we're just waiting for the bobber to get pulled. Now I would say that does not look like an Aloha, unless Aloha just means fish. Certainly, when fishing, it can get very gross and very bloody. Does seem like they're going to eat these fish.
I blew that.
Maybe it's going to get even harder as we go along. And since the puzzles have been pretty easy here, feels like there should be a tutorial for kids, since this does feel like a kid's game.
I hate when that happens.
Seems like I may have to be faster on clicking the button. Like when the bobber goes down, that's when they bite down on it and want to jerk back and get the
Come
hook
to Papa.
caught into the hook caught into the jaw of the fish. It may be that I'm getting different types of fish, and there are 4 different types of fish that go inside your basket. Yeah, there's a number here. So we are just fishing. Just time killing fishing. Although, for a video game, compared to real life, you're catching fish extremely fast and carrying and capable of harvesting quite a few fish. Is not an infinite number. It does seem like what is going to happen here is just by coincidence we're going to end up having a bunch of coins given to us.
Gotcha.
But even this, I question if it's not just scripted, that you're supposed to just catch 2 of every kind of fish. Might be that we only get these 3 kinds of fish at the moment with this bait, and then we end up having to get a different bait to get the 4th kind of fish. Or it might be a case where there's a really big fish that we need a special bait to catch later. Wherever I click to cast it may influence what kind of fish you get. That would make sense. So I'm gonna click over on the left side here. Yep. And we'll get the 6 fish we're looking for. And then we'll cast it one more time.
Got away.
Whoops. That was not what I should have done. I really don't like how the mouse cursor just gets locked into certain sections when you bring up the menus. Mouses are generally assumed to have free movement across the screen at any time. You know, I was thinking of casting over here where it looks like there's more coral. See if that gives us something different. And it did. So yeah. Inherently, an older player would be more familiar with fishing and just where you would cast and where you wouldn't want to cast. Some of these places where the coral is, you're risking losing a hook, losing your line, getting tangled up by casting where there's a bunch of weeds or coral, things like that, rocks. But that is also typically where you're going to get a different kind of fish, typically a bigger, better fish. I don't see a way, even if you were given a tutorial here and helped quite a bit more than this game really is, that you would end up I think we're out of bait. Yeah, I don't see a way you would end up having like any faster of an experience there. That took way too long.
Hey, what's
and when
going on?
done. Let's ask about the
You
earthquake.
feel the earthquake?
Yeah, wasn't that great?
You actually enjoy earthquakes?
I love earthquakes. It's like standing up on a big, huge roller coaster.
You're not afraid of tsunamis?
Me? Afraid of big waves? Not hardly. Look, until somebody figures out a way to stop earthquakes, they're gonna happen. So I say, why not enjoy them?
What else do you like to do besides surf?
Nothing.
Aw, come on. You like to ride motorcycles? Go to wild parties? Pig out on shave ice? Tell me.
I surf till it gets too dark. I come home, I eat, I go to bed, I get up, I surf till I gotta start teaching, I help my dad. That's it. That's my life.
Think that'll change when you win the championship?
You bet it will. My dad told me if I win, he'll hire somebody to take my place here, which means I'll finally be able to surf all day. See, what you don't seem to understand is I get all the kicks I'll ever need out there on my board.
Catch you later.
Cool beans.
Some real weird lines of dialogue here. Alright. I can't click on any of the fish.
Hey,
So.
what's going on?
I'll stop bugging you for now.
Cool beans.
Default responses. So I thought he said that she was the one that would pay for the fish, but very obviously there's not a line of dialogue there to sell the fish. So let's just go talk to Big Mike and see.
Joe, what are you doing here? You should be out there surfing. Pua says you're a natural.
Let's see.
She does? Oh, come on. She probably says that about all
So
her
I'm
students.
just going back
No, she
and forth.
doesn't. In fact, I can't repeat what she says about some of them. So, how'd you like that earthquake?
Frankly, it was kind of scary.
Got my heart going, that's for sure. Pele must be mad about something.
Pele, I think, is a Hawaiian god.
Pele?
Hawaiian goddess of fire. Her home is in Kilauea volcano. When she's mad, she makes the ground shake. When she's really mad, she sends lava down the mountain to gobble up her enemies.
Who are her enemies?
People who do bad things to her island, or fail to show her the proper respect, or people she just plain doesn't like. Who knows? Compared to Pele, Kane Okala is a noisy little fly. He's nothing. But enough about Pele. Go! Get outside! You're in paradise! Enjoy!
Yeah, there's not enough letters here to spell Kane Okala on that.
Well, better
Boy.
get going. Paradise awaits.
Have fun! Want something else?
Well, hang in there.
Later.
Please insert a Big Island buck.
So that may be where the map is that it's hidden inside that. Just don't know what to do. We were supposed to succeed at fishing, and we failed, so I imagine we are probably just at a spot here where we have to make a necklace. But I don't know if we even have enough without. Let's see, probably the cheapest necklace is the one we can make, this Aloha necklace, if I was to guess. And a lot of these other seashells, we just don't have, we haven't seen any of them to make that. It might be a case where only specific seashells are collectible, depending on the sequence. Yeah, I would need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6 of these, and 6 of these, and 1 of these. And yeah, nothing else is going to get into that. Nothing else is going to come close. And some of these seashells don't seem like they're used as much. Let's see.
I can't buy that. Not till I get some more Big Island bucks.
So we need 6 bucks to get the bait. And it gets fairly irritating here in that you seemingly just cannot, like, this is your shell pieces, this is your necklace pieces, this is your fish. So why can I not sell?
Hey, what's going on?
Why can't I
Catch you
talk
later.
to her
Cool beans.
and sell? And I really do think it is the case that I ran out of bait. No, I guess I didn't. I put it down for some reason. So that was just a pointless waste of time. Because that really highlights the scripted nature of this whole setup, in that it is probably giving me an infinite amount of bait to fish with. And so I question if I'm ever even going to buy bait. It's all pretense of a bigger gameplay system with no reality to it. The reality is it's just a much more simple experience. Now this is an interesting example of a Western game having a penchant for fishing, because fishing pretty much has died out in the Western world, the United States and such. Like, it's not really considered a particularly humane hobby. It feels gross and excessive, and just the most recent generations have not really wanted to do it. Plus, I would imagine access to thriving water
Lure number
locations.
6. That ought to do it.
Yeah. Thriving, good water locations.
Nuts. No more bait.
So then we immediately ran out of bait. See if we can run around here while we are close to it. There's only a few locations where these seashells can be. There still is a remnant of Japanese game developers who like to either have full games around fishing or mini games around fishing. Zelda Ocarina of Time is kind of an example of that, in that there's just a whole fishing mini game in that, and there are games certainly that are fishing centric. Dave the Diver, though, might be a great example of where fishing is taken more of a fantastical turn. And so if you do see someone fishing, they're typically not just casually fishing in a pond, they're catching casual fish. There certainly are some games that still are looking for any kind of mini game they can have, and fishing is certainly one that would come up. Hunting, in contrast, has pretty much completely disappeared. The Tomb Raider rebooted series is maybe an exception of that, because you do hunt animals with a bow and that, but particularly gun hunting is limited to a few animal hunting games that are not big sellers. I'm not sure they ever were big sellers, but they were much bigger sellers in the era of games like this, where you would have entire hunting simulation games. But as a mini game, it almost never exists. Trapping never really existed.
Hey, what's up?
Those fish you wanted me to catch? Well, here they are. What do you think?
Hey, you did it! Wasn't sure you were ready for him, but looks like I'm gonna have to stock the store with ulua bait from now on. Tell Pua as soon as I'm done here, I'm driving up to Hilo. Last I saw, she was still trying to teach Frank how to surf. Your brother's a slow learner, huh?
Welcome to my world, Mr. Mapu. Have a nice drive.
Okay. So are we supposed to just leave? And it just kind of freezes the game until that happens.
Ah, alone at last.
So the move here would be to sneak.
That's not going to unlock this door. That's not going to unlock this door.
We don't really have anything to unlock things, so we probably just need to find a key. One question certainly to ask is, did he take any of the other fish? No. So when we do get to that point, we can do something like, yeah, no telling what we're supposed to spell there. See, I don't think we're supposed to go back and talk to Nancy Drew. I don't think we have maybe just close enough to make one of these necklaces. I would suspect no. We don't have enough to do any of these necklaces. There's a lot of shells you'd need to collect. And so unless there was some way that the shells became way more frequent, it just feels like this is a waste of time. We can see now that there's several different baits that have been added to the store here. It may be that she's not here.
Hey, what's going on?
Trade you these fish for some Big Island bucks.
Let's see what you've got. Looking good. There you go. Okay, what else?
See you around the campus.
Cool beans.
Campus is a weird choice. And Big Island bucks have changed to 11. So I guess that was $0, not 50. The font is fairly small. So what's the solution here? Is it that we need to make a necklace, which a necklace inherently takes way more time, I think, than it would to just fish. But then fish bait, I imagine, is going to start running out. And so it may very well be a case that actually trying to fish returns you less than the bait cost. And so it's negative, it would be negative gains or losses. I just don't see how any of that leads to getting a key. Some of these shells look a little too close to each other also. I'm pretty sure we can. Make an Aloha necklace, so we should make an Aloha necklace.
Perfect.
Yeah. And at that level, I don't think there would be anything else. This would be our store. Let's see, we would need polished palm seeds, camping seeds, sea beans, cuckoo nuts, and diachronic glass. And then the most expensive thing here looks like it's a lure of some sort.
I'm gonna need more Big Island bucks if I want to buy that.
And then some very expensive things. And I could buy bait and fish. None of that feels like that connects to anything. We could buy a shaved ice. But why would I want to buy a shaved ice? Unless we found out that there was some trick to fishing that you could fish with shaved ice. Okay. We could gamble and see if that just automatically lets us win, or we could take it safer and look over here. Okay. Hula, formation of the islands.
Hey, this'll cost you a Big Island buck, pal.
And my question here is this just going to be A?
Hey, this'll cost you a Big Island buck, pal.
Big Island bucks are not here. They're just marked here.
Please insert a Big Island buck.
Where? Okay. The 8 islands, known collectively as Hawaii, were formed when the floor of the Pacific Ocean moved slightly to the northwest at a rate of 0.32 miles every million years, passing over a vent or hotspot, and the Earth's crust lava exploded upwards, and over millions of years, the first 5 islands in present-day chain, Kauai and Niihau, were gradually created. Okay. So, yeah, this does feel like this is just a tutorial system of information. There's just a lot of reading here. This definitely was an era when games tried to sell themselves as being educational, which they've completely given up on that idea. Yeah. Shelling in Hawaii, hula, kapa, bark cloth. Yeah, so none of that led to anything. Let's try this. Okay. Set. Wiki. So it seems like what we're doing is going back and forth, just clicking this. And it seems like you just kind of want to double click here.
Player. Computer.
So it definitely seems like it is just a
Player. Computer.
seems like it's just a time waster here. We have to click these two lights when it lit up until it says
Player. Computer.
It definitely seems like it's just a nonsense extra element here of clicking the power up to then select.
Player. Computer.
Yep. And I assume it's just randomly selecting things.
Player.
It may very well just be scripted. May very well be scripted so that you win, or it may just be random.
Player. Computer.
So it seems like you have to win 4 times. So basically you want to just double click. And on an older mouse this might have been a lot more difficult. And certainly there's not like any controller support here.
Player. Computer.
Yeah, and this is just another huge waste of time. Weirdly, I think I may just need a hint.
Player. Computer.
See, I was thinking this would just be a short mini game to either use to find find the key or earn coins, but it seems like there is not a single process here to really earn a significant amount of coins without just wasting a lot of time.
Computer.
Yeah. Let's see. I feel like I only have to really lose once at this point, and I would totally lose.
All right. Not only did I win, but I get a prize.
So we now have a prize. Maybe the prize is what we are supposed to use. Although I don't know about that.
That's not going to unlock this door.
Prize was just another necklace component. What we would need is a coat hanger.
What I need is a key.
Apparently, I need a key. Okay, find a way.
Been there, did that.
We did that.
Been there, did that.
And then clearly there's something else just on his desk that I'm not looking at.
March 5th. Delivery from JK exclamation point exclamation point. Wonder who or what JK is.
And there's the key just on the calendar. That was way easier than I thought it was going to be. And there's nothing in here.
So, if I were Green Trigger Rock, where would I be? Wait a minute. Three Finger Rock. That's what that bug doctor must have said. Three Finger Rock. I'd better call Nancy with these coordinates.
You have reached
Nancy Drew.
who is currently unavailable. At the tone, please leave a message.
Hey, Nance, good news. I figured out that Dr. Kim isn't at Green Trigger Rock. She's at Three Finger Rock. The coordinates are north 19 degrees, 24 hours, 42 minutes, by west 155 degrees, 9 hours, 1 minute. Gosh, I'm good. Hey! Ugh. Hey, Nance, good news. I figured out that Dr. Kim isn't at Green Trigger Rock. She's at Three Finger Rock.
Now he's making a lot of assumptions
north
there.
19 degrees, 24 hours, 42 minutes, by west 155 degrees, 9 hours, 1 minute.
And then he just gets knocked out.
Thank you, Joe.
And so that was almost an hour of a full hour of just playing as the Hardy Boy, one of the Hardy Boys. And I imagine he just got knocked out by the daughter. And yeah, that definitely was an hour of also just wasting a decent amount of the player's time. It definitely doesn't make the story feel important when you're just fishing for an hour or making necklaces or playing arcade games. And it does seem to me like you can waste those tokens on background information that should probably be educational and free tutorial stuff. Or you could waste a lot of the tokens playing the arcade game to get components to make more expensive necklaces, and it's questionable whether that is a system that actually will lead to profit, and if it isn't just actually diminishing returns each time or negative returns every time. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.